Hey there, welcome to the Not Just Momma Podcast, the show where we talk about building businesses, chasing dreams, raising little yous, and keeping it real through all the chaos. We're diving into mindset, motivation, and all things mompreneur life, all while microwaving our coffee for the 20 millionth time. I'm your host, Heather Madsen, a dream-chasing mompreneur who knows exactly what it's like to juggle big ambitions with a million daily tasks. Because let's be honest, we're not just moms. We're wives, we're partners, we're daughters, friends, creators, dreamers, and so much more. And just because we're raising little tiny humans doesn't mean we have to put our dreams on the back burner. We deserve to chase them, build something incredible, and make a difference, all while being amazing moms. So go ahead and nuke that coffee once again and get comfy, because we're diving in. Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of the Not Just Momma Podcast. So this episode is for you if you've ever felt stuck in a job that drains you, or like you're meant for something more than just the day-to-day routine. If you've thought before that I want to create something for myself, but I have no idea where to start, or maybe you felt that little voice in your head whispering to you that there's gotta be a way to earn income while still being there and present for my kids. I get it. I've been there too. And today I want to talk about something that absolutely changed my insight on what is totally possible. And that's turning what you already know, your passion, your expertise, or your experience into a way to earn passive income. So you might be thinking, passive income, that sounds too good to be true. But let me tell you, it's not only possible, but it's a game changer, especially for moms who are juggling everything else in their life. And by the end of this episode, I want you to feel a little more confident and a lot more inspired. So let's get into it. Let's start by saying something super important, okay? You do not need to be an expert in everything. You don't need a fancy degree, and you don't need to be a guru in your field. In fact, you don't even have to have everything figured out to start. But what you do need is a passion or experience that has shaped your life in a positive way, the desire to share what you've learned with others, and just a willingness to help someone who's a step or two behind you in their own journey. Think about it. What challenges have you faced that you've figured out how to overcome? It might be something like managing your time better as a mom, creating a budget that works for your family, finding joy in the chaos of motherhood. I know sometimes we all need that, right? Organizing your day to fit in time for self-care, or even something as simple as meal prepping or decluttering your home. You really don't have to be an expert to help somebody. You just need to be a few steps ahead of them. So let me give you a small example from my own journey. Okay, so many years ago, well, I say many because it feels like a lifetime ago, but I mean, it was back, I think in 2016. My husband and I went through this hardship, and it literally felt like there was no way out of it, that if we stayed together, we would never overcome the issue. But by some miracle of God, I don't even know how it happened. And with a few dedicated steps of our own, like we had to put in some effort, right? We can't just let it all like subside because marriage is hard. But we found a way through the darkness, and, you know, going down this path of like, you know, having that deep desire to be present for my children as they grow and looking into online businesses, I learned that there were so many other people who struggled in their marriages like my husband and I did. And a lot of them felt stuck and didn't know how to overcome it. And that's when I thought maybe I could help them. I mean, I went through all the steps and found a way so I could show others the way too, right? And seriously, that's where my journey started, and that's how yours can too. Have you gone through something and overcome it? And could you help other people with it too? So why am I so passionate about passive income? Well, I want to be real here. moms don't have extra time in their day, especially like when school's involved in sports and activities and all the things, right? And if you're anything like me, you're juggling the kids, you're running errands, you're making meals, and everything in between. And somehow we have to have time to clean our house and do laundry and all this crazy stuff. And maybe we even forget to shower sometimes. But creating something that requires your constant attention just isn't sustainable. But passive income, that's a bit different. It's about creating something once and on your own time when you have that free time. Maybe it's when the kids go to bed. And yeah, it's about creating something once, whether it's a course, a workbook, or a video series, and then having it work for you in the background over and over again. Like while you're in the carpool line, or taking a nap, or having coffee with a friend, or just sleeping during the middle of the night. It's about creating that freedom so that you have time and space to do the things that you need to do as a mom and, things that you really love. Because here's the deal. With passive income, you're not trading your precious time for money. Like me going into the salon, I literally have to be there to make money. Like if I'm not there, I don't get paid, and I don't get paid vacation time. That's not how that job worked, okay? But instead, you're creating something that continues to earn revenue with a little upkeep and maybe a few hours a day while you get to live your life. Okay. But I warn you, passive income is built over time, and it does take initial work, and it's a lot of work. You'll find out, but the benefits are so worth it. You'll have more time for your family, less stress about money, and the freedom to create your own schedule, which is like one of the most valuable things that I want in a job, is to have that freedom to make my own schedule and work when I want and when I can. Okay. So with all of that said, I want to dive into the 4 simple steps that will help you turn your passion into passive income. So step 1 is to pick what you want to teach. Okay. This is where you start. You don't need a perfect niche. Just start with what you're passionate about or what you already know. I want you to ask yourself, what have I gone through that I could help somebody with? What's something that I figured out the hard way that can make somebody else's life a little bit easier? Or what do people often ask me about? So, for example, when I started thinking about what I could share with others and what I could help them with, I realized that my experience with my husband was something many others struggled with. So I started there, and that was my thing in the beginning. And on a side note, I was very passionate about how my husband and I got through the obstacle in our life. But when it came to teaching on it, I found it was draining and tiring, and that there was so many scenarios, and every marriage is different, right? And yeah, it was just very draining, and I didn't feel like it lit me up as much as I wanted to. So it's very important that you not only have a passion for it, but that you would love to teach it, okay? And you probably already know what you're good at, even if you haven't thought of it that way. It could be something like time management for busy moms, parenting strategies for new moms, organizing your life to reduce stress, financial tips for families because, a lot of families struggle, or like me, steps to take to overcome hardships in life. Okay. And that's kind of a tough one to teach because everyone's lives are different. But if you have a way and a clear path for people to take, it can be very impactful in their lives and you can make a difference. So get it all down. Don't worry if it's perfect. You're just brainstorming for now. Okay. All right. Step 2 is to validate your idea. So now that you have an idea, let's make sure it's something people actually want. So before you go all in on creating something, you want to check if there's a demand for it. This is where you can do a little bit of research. Okay. So I want you to try these simple methods. So ask your friends, family, or social media followers what they struggle with pertaining to your particular topic, okay? And then you can use Google or Pinterest to search for keywords related to your topic and see if others are searching for solutions. Or you can join online groups where your ideal audience hangs out and ask questions that require an answer, not just yes or no, okay? You'll quickly find out if your idea resonates with people, okay? And then step 3 would be just to create the thing, right? So it's the fun part, creating the product. It could be a video course, a simple PDF guide, a printable template, a membership site, or, a physical product, whatever that you feel is you. And the beauty of this is you can keep it really simple. You don't need high-end equipment or complicated tools to start. In fact, I recommend starting with what you already have and what you can use in your own house, like your phone. You can use Google Docs because that's free as long as you have a Google account. Free design tools like Canva. You can sign up for Canva and use the free version. And then just getting it done using all those things that you have. But start small. The key is to create something that will actually help your audience solve their problem. Okay, it doesn't matter how fancy it is. All right, and then step 4 would be to share it. And I know that this part can be scary. The thought of putting something out into the world for the first time is really nerve-wracking, especially if you're like an introvert like me. I have like the fear of being seen by people. But I promise you, the world needs what you've created. The world needs to hear your voice. So start by sharing it with people who already know and trust you, like your friends, family, social media followers. I mean, you don't need a huge audience to start. And I mean, it could be scary to share with your friends and family because they know you the most, and they're probably more likely to be the most judgmental. So I mean, if you don't want to start there and you want to just try to reach out to other people to get started and validate your idea that way and get testimonials from other people, do that. Do what feels comfortable to you. Because if you're doing something that is not comfortable, it's just going to create this resentment inside of you, and then you're just not going to like your business. Okay, so don't do what's not comfortable. And I want you to focus on helping one person at a time. And over time, that'll grow into something much bigger. I mean, you can share your content in like Facebook groups, and of course, you'd have to read the rules and see if that's all right. But Facebook groups are a good way to share your business on social media or on your own personal social media profiles, or if you have a business one, or just if you have an email list, you can send out email newsletters. Even if you only have a few subscribers to start, keep sending them emails and warm them up to you, okay? So I want to end this by reminding you of something important. It is okay if it's not perfect. Remember, the goal isn't perfection. It's progress. And you don't have to have all the answers yet. You can create your thing, put it out there, and you can always go back and improve it. What matters is that you take that first step, that first big scary step. Passive income doesn't happen overnight, but the effort you put in today could change everything for tomorrow, okay? You have something worth sharing, and there's no better time to start than right now. So if you want more help getting started, I created a free guide to walk you through everything we talked about today. It's called How to Turn Your Passion, Expertise, or Experience into Passive Income, and it's totally free. You can grab it at course-roots.com/free guide, or find it in the link in the show notes below. And if this episode resonated with you and you have that desire to get started and I inspired you to, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and subscribe to my email list so you don't miss any more. And yeah, maybe share it with a friend or two. Trust me, you have ideas, you have gifts, and a story worth sharing. And I'm cheering you on every step of the way. All right, so I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We'll see you next time.